All right, and joining me today is Devin Smyth, who fights Shamid Khan Magomedov at LFA 177. That fight is on February 23rd. So, Devin, I wanted to start here. Obviously, big fight coming up, but I want to talk about your growth on the regional scene because you had that fight on Contender Series. Obviously, it didn't go your way. LFA debut, also maybe not going your way. And then you took 3 years off, right? You took a big, long chunk of time off, come back, looking phenomenal, looking like a different fighter. Was that 3 years off kind of by design, or was it, like circumstances sort of forced your hand on it?
Man, it was a little bit of both. I after I lost my debut with LFA, it was, man, I went to a bad place, man. My first time dropping two fights in a row. You know, uh I started to doubt myself, started not to think that this is what I wanted to do for for a living, and got involved with some wrong people, stopped training, and ended up in a real bad situation, so I called Rashad, and it was sort of like an epiphany type moment. Called Rashad. I said, "Yo, I got to come down there, you know, uh, and let's do it, man, because the way I'm heading right now isn't going to work out for me."
And
He
so
said,
then, and then, so I want to ask you then. So you had some time where you were maybe doubting yourself, maybe getting away from training and stuff like that. How long was that period in those 3 years? Because obviously, like I said, we saw big growth in that amount of time. So any amount of time not being training is kind of crazy.
"Yeah, I probably took like a year off, like a year just doing stupid stuff and not just doing stupid things, and then when I moved down to Florida here in February 2022. So, and the day I got down to Florida, man, I haven't stopped training since, So it was a real like 180-degree little turn for me, and it was just sort of like it was sort of like you're either gonna do it or you're not, Devin. So you run out of time. I'm 28, what I'm saying? I'm young, but I'm almost not. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get in gear, start going, and thank God I did, because some great things happen.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Rashad's guidance there. Obviously, I know he's been a big part of your life, both training and not training. It was a lot of it just getting you to a place where you knew you needed to train that much. You had somebody who was like role modeling that for you, or were there other pieces to it that he maybe attributed to?
Oh yeah, I definitely believe that it was a change of environment for me. Man, like, I love my people in Michigan, but I hate Michigan. Like, oh my goodness, like, I despise Michigan. I will never live there again in my life. Like, it's just not for me. It's cold 8 months out the year. Like, I don't. And that was the thing with me. I wasn't trying to go out and run when it's 3 inches of snow on the ground. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to leave the house to go train, let alone, what I'm saying, go out there and run and do what the things I need to do. And now I come down here, man. I wake up in the morning. I go run. It's 75 degrees. I go on a run. I come back and I get in the pool if I'm feeling a little bit tired. Like, I could take care of my body, and things are more intact down here for me. I feel like it's just such a way better situation. Obviously, I have a shot as sort of like another role model mentor, sort of helping me through every step. Living with the family, they help me. It's just it's a good situation.
Well, that's great to hear. And obviously, the results speak for themselves. You come back from that 3 year layoff. You get a really tough opponent in Jonathan Piersma. And not only do you beat him, but you beat him spectacularly 51 seconds, spinning hook kick knockout. Give me a little bit of a taste of how that felt in that moment after doubting yourself, after going through these dark times, hitting a crazy LFA main event KO like that.
It was unbelievable. And the whole time before that fight, man, I was so nervous. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, it's been such a long time, and now I'm main event, and for LFA, like, what I'm saying, last time I came here, I got knocked out, in a fight that I felt like I should have won as well, so I walked in there, and it was just something, like, I knew, like, I had worked harder than I ever had before for that fight, like, ever in my life. Like, I was running. I had never ran before that fight. I had never You know what I'm saying? I wasn't lifting. I wasn't doing anything. Like I was training maybe twice a week. So then for me to actually be training like a professional and coming down here and training with some of the best and knowing that I'm not gonna get tired and knowing that I'm gonna be able to fight for real, it just gave me a sort of confidence, you know. So when I stepped in the cage, all I kept telling myself is Devin, just go be great. Just Devin, go be great. Devin, go be great. And shit, that's what happened.
Yeah, and it was pretty damn great. Now, I do got to ask too, because I've seen a bunch of your fights before. Busting out a spinning hook kick in the first minute of the fight, not something I've seen from you every single time, right? Like that's not, what was that, your second knockout in your
Yeah,
career?
yeah. It's I throw that kick a lot. I throw that kick a lot, and it's usually like situational for me. And when in the fight it doesn't really matter to me. But if your back's against cage circling to the left or right, I'm throwing that kick just because it's there and I'm accurate with it, and more than likely I'm going to land it. So I'm just really good with my timing with that kick. The time I was blacked out during the fight. I had no idea when it was 50 film seconds. I didn't even know until the announcer said it in the arena. I was like, oh shit. Like, oh my goodness. Like I went crash, I started bouncing. I was like, gee, I was like, did I just do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and man, it was so surreal. It was so surreal. I remember I walked out of the cage and went back to the elevator that brought us back down to the locker rooms. And man, I just collapsed. I just sat down in the corner and just like put my head up, and Rashad and my cousin Lance, who's in my corner, was there. And man, I just looked at him and I just couldn't believe it. I didn't have any words. I was like, did that just happen, bro? And they was like, that just happened. And I was like, oh wow, here we go, y'all. Here we go. We about to do something special now. Because now I got my confidence back. Oh my goodness, I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous right now. I'm dangerous.
Well, and you said, that's the beginning of a big thing there. And I wanted to ask you too, because then LFA comes calling right away, wants you for an interim title shot. Not that long after that fight, were you surprised that they went from, not fighting for 3 years, one knockout, and they know what they have on their hands?
No, no, because I feel like I'm a main event fighter. I feel like, especially with Rashad and I, we're a real good team, man. It's a great story. Coming back from wherever, and especially with my life. And if anybody has followed, what I'm saying, my career and my life and what I've talked about, man, I've been through a lot, man. I've been through a lot. So it's a great situation. You bring Devin back in Rashad's hometown and fight for an interim belt, probably be his last fight, regionally, and we come out there and we blow the roof off. We blow the roof off. We win in spectacular fashion. We walk out with a belt, and then it's on the big lights. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just enjoying the process.
I love it. So let's talk about the fight a little bit too, because Magomedov was actually on the same fight card as the one we're talking about, right? He was on LFA's.
Hey, he's
Uh,
coming.
yeah, co-main event in the last Niagara Falls card. So obviously you're back there training, you're getting ready. Like you said, you were nervous, so probably not watching the co-main event all that much. But did you get a chance to go back and watch and perhaps know a little bit about how you feel about his style afterwards?
Oh yeah, bro. He's an amazing fighter. And he's an even better wrestler. I have so much respect for his wrestling. Got to do what I got to do. It's a tough fight. But it's a fight that I can win. It's a fight that I see many many paths to victory. You know, and I don't think he has that much of a gas tank. I do. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's up. I hope we all come out the fight safe. Safe and healthy. But I have a hard time not seeing me victorious.
I love it. Now, I'm going to ask you for a prediction afterwards, so get ready for that. But before I do, you sort of already alluded to it, seemingly twice, that you feel like this is the last stop on the regional scene. We do something spectacular here. LFA main event, LFA titles notorious for just being the pathway to the UFC. Is that the path that you're looking for? Is this like a UFC or bust kind of deal? Or, have you considered ONE FC or PFL or some of the other big hitters out there? Is it, kind of one-stop shopping for you, or what are you thinking?
Nah, I mean, obviously, every fighter's dream is to go to the UFC. Every fighter's dream. But I'm at the point in my life, and I'm looking at where the world is right now, and I need to get bread. I need to get paid. So and that's my whole thing right now is UFC, ONE FC, PFL, any of these, bro. Any of these, I'm gonna go where the money's at. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get paid. I'm trying to take care of a family. I'm trying to take care of myself. There's things that I got, man. I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, uh, of course, yeah. The UFC comes calling. Hell yeah, sign me up. Give me. But man, I definitely would never turn down PFL or ONE FC or nothing because they're paying. They're training, man. One of my good friends, Jared Brooks, the ONE FC flyweight champ, is dude, he's nuts, and they take really good care of him. So man, and it's a lot, and there's a lot of pros and cons to all of the promotions. It's but all of them pay money. So sign me up. So for whoever wanna grow my bank account, man. So
Well, obviously, the next step doing that is beating Magomedov at LFA 177. So I warned you already. I like to end these with a prediction. So give me the prediction. How's this one end?
man, I gotta finish. And I don't know when it's gonna come or how it's gonna come, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I feel like he's really one dimensional, and I feel like I'm gonna find that chin.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. This has been Devin Smith, who fights Shahid Khan Magomedov at LFA 177 for the welterweight title. That fight, once again, February 23rd. Devin, thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, dog.